Hey class, I'm going to be presenting Lesson 8 for Non-Directive Teaching. The targeted grade level for this lesson is 5th grade, and the title is Using Real-World Math. Our lesson goals today are: the learner will learn a real-life experience of the use of math in everyday life. The objectives are pretty clear. The learner will become familiar with the importance of basic math use, and the learner will learn how to add and subtract applications in the real world. Today we're going to be using an iPad for the recording. That way we can emphasize the use of technology and applications in the classroom. We're going to be using Notability, which is a very good application that I've found very useful over the years to take notes and do presentations on. Let's get started. So, this will be a simulation of a 5th grade class, and I will begin now. Good morning, class. We will be learning how to use math in the real world and why it is so important to learn it now so that you can become more proficient in the use of math in the coming years. I would like you to recite the lesson objectives. The learner will become familiar with the importance of basic math use. The learner will learn how to add and subtract in real-world applications. Can somebody tell me what the first lesson objective is? Next, can somebody tell me what the second lesson objective is? Awesome. Now, we are going to need whiteboards. So can somebody hand out the whiteboards, the personal ones, and some expo markers and dry erase board erasers? That way we can practice whenever it comes time. Everyone get out a sheet of paper to take notes, or your notebook where you take notes, and let's get started. How do we use math in everyday life? The first example, we're going to have some Legos. By now, you are all familiar with fractions. And here we have a good representation of how we can use fractions in the real world. You can be having fun and still be using math. You can have 1/2, you have the half, the 1/4, 1/8, 3/4, and we also have a basic fraction addition in the bottom. How many of you like pizza? I'm pretty sure everyone likes pizza for the majority part. Well, this simple picture and simple diagram is a fraction, and we use math to figure it out. Can somebody tell me, if we take this one slice, what the fraction of the pizza will have been taken out? That is correct. 1/8 of the pizza. We had 8 slices in total, and we took 1 out. Next, how many of you go shopping to Target or Walmart or any other convenience store? The majority of you do. Well, whenever you pay, you have to know how much money to give the cash register lady or man. If not, you're going to waste more money than you're supposed to, or you're not going to give them enough. Also, if you're getting a job, you have to know basic math to be able to give them the right amount of change whenever they give you a high bill and they're not paying with credit cards. Next, whenever you play video games, how many of you play video games? Whether it's on your phone, whether it's on your PlayStation, Xbox, computer, or online, we use math to keep count. We use math to tell how much time we have left. We use math to keep score. We use math to see how much points we need to beat the other team. We always use math. If it's either a physical game or a game on the computer, we always use math. We learned these a while back, geometric shapes. We have to know how many sides each one has to be able to categorize them. If we don't know how many sides they have, then we won't know what the shape is. So, for example, the square has how many sides? 4. The octagon has how many sides? 8. The pentagon has how many sides? 5. The rectangle? 4. The hexagon? 6. The heptagon? 7. Triangle? 3. The circle? 0. We're using everyday math. How many of you like to cook? Well, for those that do, you always have to have in mind the measurements that go into the recipe for cooking, baking, or what have you. We have to know how to convert units and be able to measure to be able to have whatever recipe you have so it can come out right. I use math every single day. Whenever I have to make my money go from Monday through Friday to be able to afford myself, I know that I can spend at least $15 per day on food. So how much money will I spend this week? So Monday is one day, Tuesday is another day, Wednesday is another day, Thursday is another day, Friday is another day. So we have 5 days and I spend $15 a day on food. We're using math to figure out how much I spend per week. $75. That's a lot of money. Another way that I use math every day is if I go to the convenience store and I buy a cup of coffee for $1.25 and I give them a $5 bill, I have to know how much change I'm going to get back to know that I got the correct change back. So I get 5 minus 5, 10, I should get $3.75 back. That way I know that the person that's giving me the money back is giving me the right amount. Another example is whenever I know that I have to drink 3 liters of water every single day and I drink the half a liter bottles. Well, if I drink half a liter bottles, how many bottles do I have to drink to make up the 3 liters? Well, if I have half-liter bottles, 2 halves equal 1. How many do I need to have 3? Well, if I get 2 more, I have another liter. And then if I have 2 more, I have another liter. Now I have all three. So I would have to drink 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bottles of half a liter to get my 3 liters of water in one day. Now, why is math so important? I would like you to think of when and of, of when you have had an experience where math has been important to you and why you think that it will be important in the future. I would like you to brainstorm and talk to your peers and see what each other comes up with on your piece of paper. Okay, now that you have discussed your experiences with each other, now we will do some examples of real life math application use on the board, and I would like you to see if you can do it yourself. And don't be afraid to ask questions. If you had to drink 2 liters a day of water and your water bottles are half-liter bottles, how many bottles will you need? Well, we have 1/2 plus 1/2, that makes 1 liter. Well, we can add another one. Is that enough? No, right? Because we would still need another half liter. That's 1.5. So we add one more, and now we have 2 liters. Right? It's pretty easy, right? Okay. So, if you're at a store, you're working at a store, and they're asking for a dozen of eggs, and you have to sell them. Well, you have 2 different locations where you keep eggs. You have one location that has 4 eggs. Then you have second location where you have 7 eggs. Will this be enough to make the dozen? Well, how can we figure that out? By adding. Is that going to be enough? No, because that's not 12. 12 is 1 dozen. So we're going to have to tell the customer that we do not have enough for the dozen. Now you go ahead and try your own, and I will hand out a sheet and see how you do.